Welcome to Soul Knowledge. I'm your host, Rocky K of Tune In to Wellness. We are souls having a human experience, and this podcast is where we remember that. Your soul has lived lifetimes. It has a history, a purpose, and a wisdom that goes deeper than anything your mind can analyze. My work through Reiki, hypnotherapy, past life regression, subconscious healing, and intuitive transformation is to help you not just learn about your soul, but to actually know it. Here I'll be sharing real stories from real sessions, lessons from the unseen, and truth-telling about what healing really looks like. The messy, mystical, holy, human, sometimes hilarious, often uncomfortable, absolutely life-changing parts of it all. And I'll warn you now, if you don't like the honest language or the occasional well-placed F-bomb, this is not the podcast for you. Because sometimes the most spiritual thing you can say is, fuck this, I'm done repeating this pattern. So let's take a breath. Tune in. Let go of what you think you know. And let's drop into the wisdom your soul's been trying to give you all along. Welcome home. Welcome to Soul Knowledge. Hello and welcome back to Soul Knowledge. I am Rocky, your host, and today I am super excited. We are going to talk about Reiki and what actually is Reiki. I have this question asked to me so many times, so I'm going to give it to you in a layman's terms for you. But first, I want to talk about how I was introduced to Reiki. So if you listen to my very first podcast, I talked about the lady that helped me and introduced me to hypnotherapy and Reiki because I was just like in a really bad place. Like my husband was gone all the time. My girls were really little. And I actually was going through some major health issues. I was having elevated liver enzymes and they were really high. And I was in for a session, hypnotherapy, and she was like, hey, do you want me to do Reiki on your liver? And I'm like, I don't know what that is, but sure. I mean, like, who am I to say no, right? Like, if it's going to help, like, even if it doesn't, like, who cares? Like, yeah, go ahead. So the gal that did this to me, she is blind. Okay. So that is a key to this, this story here. So either way, I'm sitting in a recliner and she asked me to put her hands near my liver. So she's not physically touching me, but she's just like resting her hands on the arm, you know, at the same area as my liver, like kind of like right next to it, right? And she hypnotizes me and I'm in hypnosis and all of a sudden it feels like she is touching me. And I am like, what the hell? Like, how could she even see to touch me exactly on my liver? Like it was weird to me, so much so that I opened my eyes in hypnosis and I looked down and she was not touching me, but I very much felt it all in that area of my liver. And I was like, okay. I don't know what the hell's happening here, but like, I'm going to roll with this. Okay. I'm going to roll with this. So needless to say, I had actually been having some pains, which was likely my gallbladder and reflection, but I didn't have pain for 2 weeks after that. And that was wild. I was like, I don't know what you just did. And I don't know what that Reiki business was, but that was really cool. And so I dug in, I started looking it up, didn't know what it was. And this was actually in the mall, like not long before I moved away from Virginia Beach and we were temporarily living in Florida. And so I looked up to be trained in Reiki. I went and I found a place and had a weekend of Reiki and learned some Reiki just to do on myself. And that was it. I had no intentions, this is like 15 years ago now, to ever do Reiki on people. At least like beyond like my circle. Like I've done it on some friends. I've done it on myself. Done it on my children when they were little. But either way, it kind of drifted away. I kind of stopped doing it to myself a bit too. And then Eventually, in my whole transition into where I am now, I knew Reiki needed to be a part of that. And that's when I went back and I sought a new teacher that reattuned me to Reiki 1 and 2. And I then decided I wanted to teach Reiki because I am a teacher at heart. And I think the more people that know Reiki and are attuned to that energy, the higher vibration collectively our world will have. And so I decided I want to go and be a Reiki master. Strictly for that, because where I was with my Reiki 2 and intuitively what I was understanding about people's bodies, I thought was enough. I didn't need anything more. But then I did my Reiki master and I was wrong. Oh, was I wrong? The vibration I got off of that attunement was insane. And we're going to get into that a little bit, but I want to explain a little bit more now what Reiki is. What actually is Reiki? So Reiki is a form of energy work. Okay, now we think about energy. There is literally energy in everything. And my favorite way to talk about it is in food, right? We think about food. They have calories. That is a form of energy, right? Calories, energy. There we go. There is energy in food. There are also energy in our words, our actions, and everything that we do. So now we think about, when we think about energy and good energy and positive energy and bad energy, negative energy, right? So we think about the person that walks in a room and she lights it up. She feels like warm sunshine, right? You know what I'm talking about. You've had that person that just walks in the room and just lights it up. She's got good energy. Okay. And on the opposite, you think of the person that has walked in the room and iced you out and you're like, ugh, you get the chills, right? That's the ice princess. Okay. And so I always tell people when I am doing Reiki, I'm just trying to take the ice princess out of you. I want you to feel like warm sunshine. We all want you to feel like warm sunshine. I can assure you the people in your life want you to feel like a warm sunshine and not an ice princess. So in Reiki, we use your 7 chakras. There are 7 chakras. There's one that is your crown. That's just right there above your head. That deals with your connection to higher power, your source. And then you got your third eye, which is on your forehead. And it is between your eyebrows. This one is connected to your intuition and insight. Then you move down to your mouth, your throat chakra. And that deals with words and speaking your truth. And then you got your heart chakra. There's love, there's joy. There's also fear, sadness. And then we go down to our solar plexus, which is our confidence, our determination. And you can see how that one could get out of whack, huh? Then we go down to our sacral. And this is your sexual energy. I always see the balance of the masculine and the feminine, or the unbalance of them. Most people say that your personal power lies in your solar plexus. For me, that's just not how I see it. And that's okay. Everybody's going to see things different energetically. So I see your personal power in your sacral chakra as well. And then we got your root chakra. So you think about your root chakra. This is like the base, right? Your foundation. So this is like your sense of security, financial, all of it. It's there. So if anybody's ever made you feel unsafe, unsecure, you're going to see problems down there. And each of these chakras are connected into all the different organs. I am not going to bore you by telling you all of that stuff right now, because this is not where the topic's going. I'm talking about the energy of them. In a Reiki session, I will go through and energetically, I will clear out if there's any blocks. And then I will just understand things that are happening. And for me, when I do Reiki, anybody that does Reiki, they will see and understand things a little differently, or a lot differently, depending. I see tears in chakras. And so for me, when I see tears in chakras, that means there's something pretty major that's happened. And so then I have to decipher what it means about that tear. Like what happened there and how do I heal it? So just so you guys all know, I do like to sew. And so the first time I saw a tear in a chakra, I was like, what the heck am I seeing in my mind's eye? Like I didn't even know that I could see the chakras until that like happened. And so I was just like, well, it's torn. I know how to sew. I'm going to sew it together. I'm going to fix this, right? And thankfully, at that time, the first time I saw a tear, I was actually doing Reiki on a Reiki master. And at that time, I was not a Reiki master. And so when we were done with the session, I was like, hey, so like, this is what I saw. I saw this tear. What does that mean? And she's just like, well, it's just what you see and how you see it. And I was like, oh, well, I sewed it up. And she was like, oh, thanks, kind of one of those things. But either way, since then I have seen them, but I've also been able to learn a lot more what they mean. So depending on where they are. So on our right side of our body is our masculine energy and our left side is our feminine energy. So where these tears are, I can determine what gender caused the tear. So most of my clients are female, so I'm always going to refer to a female client, but I do work with men. If I see a tear on the left side, so I think of it as a face of a clock. So if anywhere from 12 to 6 on a clock, I know a female caused that. So one, if it's a female client, I'm like, either this is self-inflicted or inflicted by a female, maybe a mother figure. And then the opposite, if it's from 6 to 12, on that right side of the clock, it has to do with a man or a male. It could be dad. It could be a spouse. It could be a friend or somebody that has just hurt you in general, male, female, whatever side it is. I don't always understand exactly what happens. And honestly, if I'm being really honest, I don't always want to know what happened. I just want to let them know that there is an issue and I have tried to fix it. But then I also get to give them messages on how to help heal. And I think that is the most important piece there, is I want to understand what they need to know about it and how to move forward and how to heal. And when you come into a Reiki session with me, that is what we do. I intuitively tune into your body. I tune into your energy. I tune into your aura. And I will deliver you messages from your bodies. I don't really know how it happened or really when it started, because nobody taught me this. It's just something that has slowly progressed the more and more I have done Reiki. And the more and more I do Reiki, the more I learn and I understand about people's bodies. It is wildly personal what I do. And that is why I don't really necessarily want to know what actually happened. And so what's interesting though too is how I see it is sometimes the same situation will cause problems in different areas of the body. Okay. So one time I saw a tear in the heart, the solar plexus, and the sacral. And I actually think the one time I saw it in even the root chakra, I had all four of them, and it was the tear at the same spot. So let's just make up, it was all at the 9 o'clock on the clock, right? All four of them had a tear at 9 o'clock. I'm going to know in my mind that they are all torn for the same reason. So there was something, and I'm going to guess somebody that they loved and cared about. They did something that took their power, took their confidence, took their safety and security away from them. And there is a good chance it was sexually involved if the sacral's involved. And in those sessions, I will sew all this up. I will do is whatever I can in the short time that we have together to help them. But it's the messages that I give them, the acknowledgement that I can see their hurt. And sometimes that's all it is they just want to know that what they're feeling and going through and carrying through their life is real. And I see it for them. And I do what I can to fix them. And I love the messages that I get to give people. So, I mean, some of them can be a little more on the heavy side, but some of them are really cool. So one of my favorite ones is I could see around this person that there was like all these people, and it felt like ancestors to me. It felt like they were older people. And my message to her was that part of her purpose is being connected to the elders in her family. And I asked her, I was like, hey, like, are you close with the old people? Well, I shouldn't say old because I'm kind of old, right? The older people in your family, the elders in your family. And she was like, yes, I am. And I was just like, that is part of your purpose. And she was like, wait, what? What do you mean it's part of my purpose? I'm like, well, I don't really know. But that was the message that I got, that that is part of who you are and why you are on this earth. And she was just like, oh, so it's not to be, and I'm going to not say her occupation because I don't need to give away any details, personal details. And I was like, no, I mean, yeah, like that is what you're supposed to do. Like that is your occupation. That is paying your bills. It is something that you love and you enjoy. But we have multiple purposes in our lives and in these bodies. And it is so important that we make sure that we are fulfilling these purposes. And I always tell people too, they always want to know like their purpose. I want to let you know that not all purposes pay your bills. You do not always make income off of your purpose. Okay? That is so important to know. Sometimes your purpose is simply like being the person that holds the door, that smiles and lights up the room. Maybe you're the person that's like just supposed to have that really great laugh that everybody's like, that's the best laugh. And it just makes everybody else laugh because like you just have this contagious laugh. I would be really happy if that were me. If I had the laugh that just made everybody laugh, like, damn, that'd be so cool. Anyways, that would bring me a lot of joy because it would make everybody else feel really joyful too. So anyways, it's really cool. And sometimes in my Reiki sessions, it's really just kind of validating. I'm just like, wow, do you have like a really big project going on? I get random things. And I can tell you, not a single Reiki session is the same. Not a single one is the same. But so I am the type of person that I have never been like, you have to come back and see me. You have to come back and see me. You have to come back and see me. That's not who I am. I want you to come back when you want to come back. Nobody's made to come back and see me. But I do have these, my Soul Garden sisters, that program, there is an option where you can get a Reiki session once a month. And so now I have been doing Soul Garden sisters, since August it started. So what's that, like 4 or 5 months now? So I've gotten to see some of these women that are in my Soul Garden sister program at least the 5 times, right? And all of them were with me before and I'd done sessions with them. It is so cool to see how they have evolved. And I never knew I would want to do multiple sessions or even monthly sessions on people. I didn't think that there was a benefit of it. But now I am learning, now that I have these people that I am doing monthly sessions with, there's a lot of benefit to it. And it's so cool to see the progress and to give them their little tidbits that are helping them each month. And just clearing out the nonsense, clearing out the bullshit, because healing is a process. And if you are on your healing journey, which I'm going to assume that you're on the healing journey if you're listening to this, or at least you're thinking about it, healing takes a long time. And guess what? It never ends at all. It doesn't. Sorry. You're just not going to be like all of a sudden healed one day. It doesn't happen. Sorry. It's just like layers. It's like this onion. It's like a never ending onion, right? And you just keep healing. And sometimes we're healing the same stuff multiple times. And so when people come into these Reiki sessions, It's cool. And I can tell you that I have multiple people, and there are going to be some of them that come on this show that I get into their energy and I am like, wow, you really have made a lot of progress. A lot of progress. And for me, like, what a gift. Like, I get to feel that. And that, you guys, that's why I do what I do. Like, I love it. I think I got the coolest job. I mean, I do. I wouldn't mind the like lack of reliability or accuracy as a weather person, but because you know that weather shit is never right. But I love what I do. And not one single session is going to be the same. Even if I'm doing it on the same person month after month after month, it is so cool. You can evolve. You can get so much done if you are intentional. And that's what I'm calling you guys to do, is to be intentional. Continue to take steps forward. They can be the tiniest steps forward. And sometimes making progress is simply standing still. Okay? And there are moments where we have to get knocked back to spring forward. So just trust your path, okay? I want you to really trust your path. Trust the soul's journey that you are on and go with it. And if you are feeling called to do a Reiki session, I do these virtually and in person in Virginia Beach. I really enjoy them. I think they are a very personal experience. And I can tell you that if there is an area that you want to have like all wrapped up and blocked, I won't get to it. Okay. But if you do have walls up, I do feel those too, actually, speaking of. I mean, we all think about it. We all put walls up in our life, right? Walls. I've done it. I do it as a protective mechanism, and I've seen it in many people. We put these walls up. And I remember when I did it, when my husband was coming and going all the time. He was on a ship, and he would come home for 2 weeks, be gone for 3, come home for like another week and be gone, whatever. It sucked. And it hurt my heart so bad. And so then I energetically built a wall. I built that wall to protect myself. And then you know what I realized from building that wall? That I didn't care when he came or went. I wasn't happy. I wasn't sad. I was so indifferent. And when you're indifferent, you're pretty fucking miserable. Let me tell you. When we build these walls up to protect ourselves, prevent pain, to prevent sadness, we're blocking out the good, guys. We don't let the good come in either. We don't get the love. We don't get the joy. We're indifferent, and that is not fun. So when people come into sessions and I feel walls, I take them down. I let them know that I took it down and they're welcome to put it back up. But I tell them what I just said. I don't encourage it. I do not encourage it. Walls serve no purpose. But I want to get back to where I was about me not being able to get to things that you don't want. Same day, I'm going to tell you this story. Same day I did a virtual session with a lady, and we get on this session on Zoom, and it felt like she was throwing all her stuff at me. She was just like, good riddance, get rid of it. And I was just almost like, I felt like I almost had to go like in a barricade, because it was like she was throwing shit at me. Like, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. She didn't want any of it. Good for her. Good. And I guess like in my head, she actually said when we were done talking that she could hear me say, slow down. I can't go that fast. Which I didn't say it aloud, but I'm sure I did energetically, because she was a very gifted lady as well. So I guess we were kind of communicating telepathically. But I laughed because she wanted to get rid of everything. Same day I had another person in person, and I was like, I couldn't get anything. And then it took a little while into the session before I could encourage her energetically to soften up. I didn't say a single word to her. And eventually she let me in. And I was able to get in there and help her heal. And that was really beautiful. But if she had not softened up, I might not ever have been able to give her the beautiful messages that I did that day. So either way, Reiki is a really powerful tool, and not everybody does Reiki how I do it, but I wanted you to understand what a session was like with me, what Reiki really is, because I get that question all the time. And so use your sunshine and your ice princess. I love that analogy. I don't really know where I got that from, but it was not given to me. I definitely created that in my head. So, but feel free to use it if you are somebody that works with energy, because I think it's a really easy way to explain it either way. So that is Reiki. If you have comments, questions, anything like that, definitely send me messages on my Instagram or my website. You can email me. I would love to have a conversation. And if you are interested in a session, go to my website and book your session, and we can do that virtually or we can do it in person. It works all the same either way. Until next time, have a super magical day. Thank you for tuning in and for doing this work, not just for yourself, but for everyone connected to you. If this episode stirred something in you, trust that. Share it, leave a review, send it to someone whose soul needs it. Your voice and your ripple matter. And if you're ready to go deeper, to explore your past lives, heal your patterns, reconnect to your soul, or work with me one-on-one, head over to tuneintowellness.com or connect with me on Instagram. Until next time, trust what you feel, honor what you know, and remember, your soul already has the answers. Be bold, be light, be you. I'll see you next time on Soul Knowledge.